Alright, this is new Let's Play, a new game for me, obviously. It's Don't Starve. It's a survival game. And what I've been told is starving isn't so much the issue, but not getting caught in the darkness. Because, and I absolutely love this, a monster you don't see will come in and eat your taters. Oh, it is locked, okay. Okay, he's that's got a Lucius feel to it. Okay, so I'm the gentleman scientist, and and you know, I am actually growing a magnificent beard. I'll have to get a camera, so. Okay, now what I understand is gather shit like a madman and fear the dark. So.
All right, this is the Q&A for 800 subs. I just thought that blast from the past might be fun. The backdrop is going to be the video from video 1 and 2 in the whole thing, and there'll be gaps in it. I hope you don't mind. I can't think why it'd matter. But I'm going to obviously edit this. I tend to meander and ramble when I talk, as you're probably all well aware. So, but it's just a backdrop, and it's kind of to avoid the, well, for one thing, it's an appropriate backdrop, but it's also, I won't get the questions I got on the 300 subs Q&A, which is like, why is that a picture from Minecraft? I was also asked to tell a little bit about myself, and I've got a couple of kind of survival related anecdotes to tell, and they're not about survival. It's just some stuff I was taught in the Air Force, and it's sort of R-rated, or yeah, both of them are kind of R. Well, one is more so than the other, but it's not anything filthy. Well, it is disgusting, but that's, you know, probably used to that by now. But let's do some questions here. Sadat704 asked me what, and this is in no particular order. This is how I went down the comments file and picked them out. And if I missed anyone, I apologize. Sadat704, what type of food did you cook as a chef? I was trained in classical French cuisine. I served an apprenticeship with one of the best chefs I've ever known. His name was Paul Grager. He had a Culinary Institute of America background. At that time, they did primarily French cuisine, classical French cuisine. I can and have done work comparable to anything you'll see in any of their pro chef books or banquet books. Gracious. Seafood was probably my specialty, and I worked a long time at Savoy Grill in Kansas City, and it's the oldest continuous operation restaurant in Kansas City. Teddy Roosevelt ate there. At one time, they served buffalo meat as a regular thing. If that gives you any idea of how old it is. But anyway, the menu there was etched in stone, and I was a sauté chef, and I had no leeway to do anything except the old man, Don Lee, who was a chef in his own right, gave me carte blanche to do anything. He understood he had a creative talent that didn't have to be there. So anyway, he gave me carte blanche to do anything with vegetables I want. So I can do amazing and magical things with vegetables also. French cuisine is a lot of the heavy sauces, the hollandaises, the liaison sauces, gracious, all the different roux, the blonde and the brown roux, and it's kind of hard to say it in one word. Most of it's a pretty high caloric count, and all of it. There's people think that the chefs, well, they've got those shows on TV, and they're basically bullshit. All those are set up on a set somewhere, but a good chef has to know how to do everything right, and he has to know how to do everything fast and nasty and get the same result. So, and he has to be able to do anything in the house. If his dishwasher drops dead because he's stoned out of his mind and decided to drink the soap, he has to either con another chef into washing the dishes or lend a hand himself. And the best way is to go over and do it yourself, and your employees, if you're a good chef, will start saying, "No, man, let me get that." So, but anyway, that's. But I have also I specialized in New Orleans cuisine, Creole and Cajun. I did a lot of just Midwestern cooking. I worked as a chef for the General Motors plant at Fairfax here in Kansas City, and I did roast beef and chicken fried steaks, and I don't even know, just about anything you can name, I've cooked it. I've also cooked some of the odd things. I've cooked alligator and some other things. Alligator tastes a lot like swordfish. Uh, Zenith Core A asks, as the subs expand, what games might I be playing? Will I be playing more games? And I think right now I'm hardly keeping up with. I'm not keeping up with what I want to do and Don't Starve. So it depends on how things calm down with it. I like the puzzle. To me, they're puzzle games like Edna and Deponia. I didn't love Deponia, but I love Edna. I like having a game on the side like that, but there aren't a lot of viewers for that, and they never will be. It's something I just enjoy doing. Um, I've kind of heard about DayZ and a few other things, and I haven't heard anything that there's a consensus on. I enjoyed playing Isaac, but there's no continuity to it. There's room for my humor, but there's not a lot of room for you don't go, oh well, we'll be going on from, because there is no going on, which is the charm of the game. Don't get me wrong, that's not a game knock. It's just and I'll probably play it from time to time, but as I'd like to see something where you go, oh well, I wonder what will happen next to this character or this whatever. And there's a couple of things I'm looking at, and I hate to get hopes up, so I hate to mention them. I do want to look at DayZ, and other than that, I don't know. It doesn't have to be survival. It doesn't, you know. And I've tried different things. The other thing is, like, I tried Lego Lord of the Rings, and the research I would have to do. I do a lot of research. You probably don't. Well, you don't see on Don't Starve trying to keep up. And I can't do another game with that kind of research in it. So it has to be something I can get in and play, and I'd like it to be something that's not worn out. I'd kind of like to revisit Minecraft and see if I can breathe my brand of humor into it, but I have never thought of a way to do it. Part of the problem is Minecraft's first person, and to me, Don't Starve is third. You see the little guy running around and doing stuff, and it's easier for my brand of humor to do Don't Starve. Uh, Ghost Flames, the 1M, said he was thinking about culinary, and he wanted to know if Italian, French, or German. Well, there is no German cuisine. It's a lot like British cuisine. It doesn't exist, or Irish cuisine. And I'm German Irish, and I've got some English thrown in, so don't take that personally. When your main food is sausage, I'm sorry, you don't have cuisine. And when you think that blood is a pudding ingredient, Italian cuisine is marvelous, and it's more the in thing now. But once you get away from tomato sauces and cheeses and the ability to make pasta correctly, I don't know. There's not. I hate to say there's not a lot there, because there is a lot there, but it's I don't know. Uh, French cuisine, if you do classical French with the Nouveau French thrown in, and you'd have to look all that up. I'm sorry, it's too much to explain here. You have a solid basis where you could do Italian, you could do German, you could do New Orleans, you could do Southwestern's big in the United States, but I really despise it. Sticking a jalapeno up a rabbit's ass and roasting it is not food. Uh, but something I would recommend, something with a strong general background, and actually Italian will provide that. And like I said, it's more in fashion now. So the Instant Mind said best and most efficient method to kill deer clops.
I don't think there is a best and most efficient. Damn, where the hell are we? I was looking at the background. Well, that's unfortunate. Anyway, the best, I don't think there is a best and most efficient. I think hitting him with the panpipe and then pounding him when he was stun locked, but evidently that doesn't happen now. So I just kill him as best I can. I think whatever you find to kill him, they're going to find a way to nerf it. The best and most efficient way, I think, to kill Beefalo, except for the waste of the burned fur, was torture him, and that's gone now. So I don't know. I kill things the best way I can.
Big Thumpa 21 asks, what is my favorite, not best, but favorite way to kill hounds, tree guards, queens, and deer clops? I prefer not to kill tree guards. They're just tedious.
Hounds, I like watching the beefalo kill them, although the mosquitoes was great fun. The mosquitoes and the tentacles in the swamp. But it's difficult to get them off of you and onto anything else anymore. I don't know anything other than that on the hounds. Bees aren't bad. I don't know. Hounds are just a pain in the ass anymore. Spider queens, I would love to just kill one by pounding it with fire darts or a fire wand, although that'd be a huge waste of a fire gem. But I just like watching spider queens burn. It's just they have such high hit points. It's a difficult game. Mostly with spider queens, it's just to me it's like a walking tentacle. You line up and hit it, and move back and hit it, and it's part of why people weren't real happy when you were killing 30 and 40 of them in your world. It's like there's no benefit from it, and it's a pain in the ass. Deer clops, same answer. Actually, I just like stun locking him and getting him out before he causes a lot of damage. It's a lot more fun with fire and dashing in and bashing him, and all. That's more fun. But
and that's probably the way it's going to be. So it's there's more adrenaline involved in that. I like stuff where it gets the blood flowing. Paladina 6 asks what my favorite character is. It kind of used to be Wilson, but anymore it's more Willow. She's more fun to talk to. I like to talk to the character. I like Wolfgang, and I'm liking him more and more. The problem is he's so overpowered, and he's not available to beginning players. That and has overpowered it. What Wolfgang can do does not translate well. Shit, I've got to do something about this background. Oh, there we go. Okay. But what Wolfgang can do doesn't translate into the other players, and part of the purpose of these videos, if there is a purpose,
is the hell have I done here with my background? I guess I should have looked at all this. Are you through fooling around? Okay.
I would say Willow first, and then either Wolfgang or Wilson. I need to work on developing Wilson more, and I need to do the intro cartoons for him. The celebratory video for this 800 subs is all the cartoons put together end to end, and it helped me realize more about Wickerbottom doing those, and I want to do a bunch more. Unfortunately, they take a lot of time to do, and that particular chunk of footage, Camtasia about threw up with me trying to do it, because each one of those has a caption on it, and it makes it like a double video in the file, and it just froze that over and over and over again. So doing the short ones is just time consuming. Doing that long one, I didn't think I was going to be able to get it done. It just the system has trouble dealing with that much input. Guitar Jonas asked about future games, and again, I don't know. I was looking at the games in my library, and somebody recommended something as being entertaining to me, and I own Dungeons of Dreadmore, but I haven't looked at it at all. So what I'm looking for is something where I've got some input into it that isn't a puzzle game like Edna and all that. There'll always be one of those, but it's never going to have a lot of views. But the charm of Don't Starve is it has room for my humor. It's third person where I can see what I'm acting on. And I'm not saying first person wouldn't work. And it's not worn out. It's if you get into a game that's got millions, it depends. Like Don't Starve has a ton of videos now, but it's you can make it your own. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying there. Like in a traditional role-playing game, you have to go find this, then you go find that, then you go find that, then you go find that. So there's not always as much room to create. And it doesn't have to be sandbox, but probably having some sandboxy edges about it would help. So I think that's all the questions. Don't Starve. Survival anecdotes in the Air Force, for some reason, I think it's because of the down pilots, they feel compelled to teach everybody about survival, which means you sit and listen to a guy that's in charge of that for pilots talk to you about it. And he starts his little speech with, "Would you eat a bull's penis to survive?" And this is in front of like bleachers with a couple of hundred guys in it. And of course, the initial reaction is no. And my initial reaction was not that, because I feel about surviving in fights the same way, which is the guy that walks away won. Beware bull. But anyway, the general reaction was no. And he said, well, have you ever eaten a hot dog? And everybody, of course, said, yeah. And he said, well, you already ate one then, so you might as well eat one to survive. The other story is when I first went to Taiwan, and that's a bit about where I've been and what I've done. I lived 3 years in Taiwan, downtown, off base, which we weren't allowed to do. But I lived immersed in that culture for 3 years in the Air Force. And when we first go there, there's an orientation, and I actually got thrown out of it. They mentioned not to eat any food or drink any water downtown. Now, you're going to be there for years, and it's like, what? They use human waste, like human poop, on their fields, on their vegetables. And it's because they don't have cattle or pigs or anything like that. I mean, there's a few, but very, very few. And nothing's wasted. It's like the Native American culture was at one time. So anyway, and there's bacteria in human waste that isn't in animal waste. So don't eat any vegetables. I'm sitting there and the orientation's going on, and I'm thinking, well, where the hell do your vegetables come from? So of course, being me, I ask, where do you get your vegetables? And well, we buy them locally. I said, well, why are those okay? And he said, well, we wash them in detergent and then soak them in bleach. And I said, so if you took a turd and washed it in detergent and soaked it in bleach, would you be able to eat it then? And they asked me to leave the orientation. They said I needed no more orientation. So this isn't a recent phenomenon. I was always an asshole. No, I was a debater in high school. I was briefly a debater in college. I hated being poor. I didn't like college. At the time I did it, you couldn't test out of things. And so I was taking elementary math, elementary English. It was just really pathetic, and I just couldn't do it. I was awesome at debate. I debated at a national level consistently. I was invited to the National College Tournament, and that was invitation only. You had to win select tournaments to do that. Went in the Air Force because I couldn't get a job. Spent 4 years in, almost all of it in Taiwan. Had a hell of a time. Hell of a time. I fixed F-4 fighter jets, the avionics on them. The F-4 fighter was a $2.5 million airplane. $1.5 million of that was the electronic system that allowed it to kill other airplanes. All that Top Gun stuff, all that stuff's real, but it's kind of bullshit. The system I worked on back in the 70s had a over 90% kill at 26 miles. So when is all that snap rolling and bullshit going on? And the Phoenix system that replaced it, what I did, had a kill range of over 95% at 50 miles. You can't see a plane at 50 miles. You can't see a city at 50 miles. But if you can kill them from 50 miles away, there ain't going to be a dogfight. You could hang that crap on a Piper Cub if it could carry it, and it could kill any fighter in the world. But anyway, that's what I worked on in the Air Force. Got out, knocked around, got in restaurants, wound up as an apprentice, became a chef, did a lot of troubleshooting for Denny's, Perkins, and chefing, sometimes at the same time, sometimes not. I fixed so many kitchens, it's unbelievable. And restaurants. I've been a general manager of restaurants. I've worked for corporate. Gracious, I don't know what else. Had a son and did a significant part of the raising him because my wife wasn't always in the best of health. My son is the kid, Death Even 13. I'm very proud of him. He has his own channel. He's the one that took the time to show me how to do all this. And he spent a lot of time doing that. And I appreciate it. Anyway, I'm just rambling here, so I'm going to end this thing. It's way too damn long. So I don't know what the hell I'll do with it. Maybe put it up in 2 sections, watch as much of it as you feel like. to me, it's not about the numbers. It's not about, I don't know, being best or being better. It's about having fun with the game and having fun with the videos. And if you guys like them, then I'm happy. And if you're having fun with them and the game, then I'm happy. And I can't fix the game when they do ignorant stuff to it, but like I said, hopefully I think that'll even out. So, but like I said, the thing for me is the fun of the videos, and I really appreciate all of you watching them. So anyway, thanks for joining me on the ride. I'll see you down the road, and you all take care of yourselves. We're well on our way to just a scary amount of subscribers, so I don't know what the hell to say about that. All I can do is make the videos like that I enjoy making. So thanks. Say goodnight, Wilson.